Welcome to Pouches and More, and today we'll prepare this round fabric bag. This is how it looks. It's got a pocket outside. It's also got a pocket inside. It's completely lined from inside also. This is how it looks. This is the pocket inside. So it's simple to make. We have also done a double fabric strap and we have put a strap adjuster. So let's check out the materials required to make this fabric bag. We require 2 pieces of main fabric which have been quilted and 2 pieces of lining fabric. They have been fused with interfacing and all 4 measure 8 inches by 8 inches. We require 1 piece of main fabric which has been fused with interfacing and 1 piece of lining fabric which has been fused with interfacing and 2 pieces of lining fabric, and all 4 of them measure 5.5 by 8 inches. We require 2 pieces of main fabric which have been fused with interfacing and 2 pieces of lining which have also been fused with interfacing, and these measure 10 inches by 1 3/4 inches. We require 1 piece of main fabric fused with interfacing and 1 piece of lining fabric also fused with interfacing, and this measures 16 inches by 3/4 inches. We require 2 pieces of main fabric and these measure 4 inches by 2.5 inches. We require bias binding strip 1.5 inches by 8.5 inch. We'll be making a double fabric strap. So for that we'll take a lining fabric and main fabric. Now the main fabric will be measuring 2 inches by 45 inches and the lining fabric will be measuring 1.25 inch by 40 inches. So these are for the strap. We also require a 11-inch long zip, a strap adjuster and 2 oval rings. So these are all the materials required to make this round bag. So first we'll make the circle for the body of the bag. So I've turned the main fabric to the wrong side as well as the lining fabric to the wrong side. I'll be using the cover of a pan measuring 8 inches in diameter. I'll place it on the wrong side like this and I'll be tracing the outline so that I get a perfect circle. So I've done this on 1 piece, we'll do that on the other 3 pieces also. Once the circle is traced on all 4 pieces, we're just going to cut this. So just cut the outline. We have cut for 1. We'll be doing for the other 3 also. So our circles are ready. Now we're going to prepare the pocket. For that we're going to place the main fabric right side facing up and the lining fabric wrong side facing up. So the wrong sides of the main and lining fabrics are together in the center. We're just going to align the top and make a stitch over there. So here straight stitch. Now we finished doing the stitch, we're just going to fold it in half, that is to give the slight curve to the pocket. On the folded part, this is the center. Over here center, we are going to make a marking of around 1/2 inch, that is to give it the curve. So a 1/2 inch mark, and from this 1/2 inch mark we'll be curving it to the top. So this is optional. In case we want, we can also have a straight pocket. I'm just making it a little curved. So we have cut the curve part and this is how it will be looking. Now we are going to bind this. So we're just going to align the raw edges of the binding strip and the pocket. Here we'll be making a stitch. Now to complete the binding, we're going to finger press the seam and take the binding strip on the other side and we're going to double fold it over the stitch mark. So just going to double fold it over the stitch mark and we'll do this for the entire binding strip. So here we'll be making a stitch right on the seam over here, right on the edge we're going to make a stitch. The binding is done, we're going to cut the extra, and this is the outer pocket. So our outer pocket is ready. Now we're going to take one piece of the main fabric, that is the main body. We're going to fold it in half like this. This is because we need a center to place the pocket. So this will be our center line. We are also going to make a center line on our pocket by aligning the top and edges. So this is our center line on the pocket. We're just going to align both the center lines, that is the pocket center line and the main body center line. We haven't cut the pocket fabric. We'll be cutting it once we finish stitching. So here it's aligned, and we're going to clip both the sides. Now to make the circle stitch, we are going to turn this to the wrong side. So we're just going to turn it to the wrong side, and here we're going to make a stitch. After that we'll cut the extra fabric from here. So we have finished stitching, we're just going to cut this extra fabric. Now for the inside pocket also we'll do the same thing, but here we are going to place the right sides together and make a stitch on the top edge. So we're just going to align the fabrics from the top, and we're going to make a straight stitch over here. So here the right sides of the fabric are together. Now we have made a stitch. We're just going to open it and finger press the stitch. We need to make a top stitch. These stitches are simple straight stitches. So here we're going to make a top stitch. Our inside pocket is also ready, and we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did for the outer pocket. We're just going to place it like this, and we are going to clip it, and we're going to turn it to the wrong side and make the stitch, circle stitch. After that we'll be cutting it. So same thing we'll do, we'll turn it to the wrong side, make a stitch all around, and then cut the extra fabric. So both our pockets are ready, inside pocket and outside pocket. Now for preparing the zipper panel, right side facing up, the zipper slider facing down, we're just going to align the edges and clip them together. Now we'll take the lining fabric, right side facing down, align it from the side and the top, and again clip this together. So here right sides are together, zipper in between, straight stitch. Now this is done for the top stitch. We are just going to put both the fabrics on one side, finger press our stitch seam and make a top stitch. So neatly finger press it and make a top stitch. Now for the other side, it's exactly the same thing. Main fabric, right side facing down, align from the sides and the top, and then clip them together. So here we got the main fabrics. Now we'll turn them over. Lining fabric, right side facing down, again align from the side on the top and clip it together with the fabrics. Here right sides together, again here main fabric, right sides together, a straight stitch. So our straight stitch is done. Now as we did for the other side, we're just going to put both the fabrics on one side, finger press the stitch mark and then make a top stitch. So our zipper panel is ready. We have made the top stitch on both the sides. Now we can cut off the extra fabric in case it is there, and we'll also cut off the extra zip. After cutting this, we are going to make a stitch all around. So we're going to cut the extra and make a stitch all around. So zipper panel is ready. Now we'll prepare the tab. For that we've taken this fabric. We just fold them half, get the raw edges again to the center and again make another fold. So this is our tab. Now we're just going to clip this. We need to make a stitch on this. So both sides are going to make a stitch. Now we'll do the exact same thing on the other side also. Now this tab we are going to insert it into the oval ring and clip it. The other one also same thing. So insert the tab into the oval ring and clip it. Now we need to make a stitch on this just to hold them together. So we're going to make a stitch on both of them, that is only to hold them together. Now we're going to attach this tab on the zipper panel we just prepared. The raw edge will be aligning with the raw edge and the ring will be inside. We're just going to clip this together, both sides. So this is on the zipper panel. The raw edge is aligning with the raw edge and the oval ring is inside. We're going to make a stitch on this. So our tab is also attached. Now we'll take the base gusset and right side facing down, that is main fabric right sides together. We're just going to clip them. So here we have got the main fabric right sides together. We're just going to turn them over. This is the lining fabric, right side is there. We're going to place the right side of the lining fabric on it and we're going to clip this together. So here we need to make a stitch. Now for the other side also we'll do the same thing. Right side of the main fabric will be with the right side of the gusset fabric. Align the edges and clip them. Right side of the lining fabric will be with right side of the lining fabric gusset and we are going to clip them. We need to make a stitch on this just to put them to hold them together. So it will be lining fabrics together and main fabrics together. A straight stitch on both the sides. So this is attached. Now we are going to put the fabrics together on one side. We need to make a top stitch so that it remains flat. So we're just going to make a top stitch on both the sides. Both these sides we're just going to make a simple top stitch. Our top stitch is also done. Now we have got loose fabric. We need to stitch them together just to hold them together. Both sides we're going to do this. The top fabric is already stitched together. We'll do the same for the base fabric also. So we are finished doing this. Now we require to make 4 markings. We're just going to align the stitch marks that we just stitched, the zipper panel. So we're going to fold it like this. We get our center mark. This is the base. The opposite side will be the top center mark. So this is the top center mark. We'll do the same on the other side also. We're just going to align the stitch marks and the top center and the base center we get. Now if we align these 2 marks, we'll get the side center marks. So we're just going to align the top and base center marks that we just did, and we will be getting the side center marks. So we'll do this on the other side also. So we'll be having center marks on both the sides of the circular panel. So we'll be having 4 marks. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we'll do the same on our main body also. We're just going to fold it. We'll align the pockets over here and we'll get the top center mark. Similarly, the base center mark, and we're going to align these 2 center marks to get the side center marks. So just going to align these 2 and we get the side center mark. This one side and the other side. Now we need to stitch them together. So for that we'll have to align the center marks. So we're just going to turn the circular panel to the wrong side, and we are going to align it. Now this is the top part, since we have the pocket and the zip. So the pocket is the top part and the zip will be the top part. Just going to align the top center mark, and we are going to clip this. Similarly, we'll align the base center mark also, and we are going to clip it. And now we are just going to clip the entire circle. Now we'll stitch all around. We have clipped all around. We are just going to stitch all around. So our main fabric is attached. Now for the lining fabric, we'll turn it like this on the other side, and we're just going to clip all around. We haven't made any marks on this. We are just going to clip it all around. So I clipped it all around. Now we need to leave a opening over here, that is to turn it to the right side. The entire circular gusset is sandwiched in between the main and the lining fabric. So that is done. Now from this opening we'll have to turn it. Before that, since it is a circle, we are just going to make small notches. We can either fold it like this and cut it, or else we can just open it and simply cut it. So we are going to make notches all around, and since we have quilted it, it's going to be a little bulky. Now from this opening, we are just going to turn it to the right side. So this is how it will be looking. We have turned it to the right side now. So it's come out perfectly. Now we need to attach the other side. So for that, we'll again turn it to the wrong side. We need to again turn it to the wrong side. So this is the opening also that we left. Now we're going to make marks on the main fabric again. That is the center marks we require. The 4 marks that we just did on the other side, we're going to do it on this side also. We're going to put it right side facing down and align the top marks first. So the right side and the right side will be together. Then we'll align the base marks, and we're going to align the side marks also, and then we'll be clipping it all around. So this is the base mark. Now we have made side marks also, center marks. We're just going to align that also, both sides. So one side is done. We're going to do that on the other side also, and once this is done, we are going to clip all around. So we'll make a stitch all around over here. So our main fabric is done. Now for the lining fabric, we'll turn it to the lining side and we're going to place it like right side facing down. Before that, we're just going to make center mark. So here we are going to align the pocket and we're going to get the top center, base center and then the two side centers. So here on the lining fabric, we are going to make the 4 marks. Now this is the top part. So we need to align the top part along with the top part since there's a pocket over here. So first we are going to align the top parts together of the main fabric and the lining fabric. Now the entire bag is sandwiched in between. So we are just going to flatten it. Since it's bulky, we'll just close the zip also so that they are together and we can flatten them. We're just going to flatten this entire bag in between. Now we're going to align the base marks. And as we did for the main fabric, we are going to align the side marks also, and then we will be clipping all around. So these are the side marks also that we will be aligning. Since it is bulky, we will have to make adjustments and then clip them together. So we'll do that on the other side also. Neatly push the whole fabric inside. That is the gusset or the circular panel fabric. We need to neatly flatten it and push it inside. Now once we have aligned all the centers, clip the centers, we are just going to clip all around and make a stitch. Now again the lining fabric, we need to leave an opening, that is to turn it to the right side. So this is the opening that we will be leaving and we are going to stitch all around. So this is done. Now the same thing we'll do what we did for the other side. Make small notches all around before turning it. Now we're going to turn it from this opening. So it's turned to the right side. We have put it in the lining side. We need to make a stitch now over here. So just pin this and we're going to make a hand stitch. So this is done. We have hand stitched the opening on both the lining fabrics. Now we'll turn it to the main, that is the right side. So this is how it will be looking. Now we need to complete the straps. So for that we'll take the strap. We are using 2 fabrics. We can also make it with 1 fabric. Now this is the thinner one, it is 1 1/4 inches. We're just going to fold it like this in half and we're going to get the raw edges to the center again. So one side we have got it to the center and we'll get the other side also to the center. So the other side also we'll get it to the center like this. And we are going to pin this. So here we are going to do only this much and we'll do this for the entire fabric. So we have done this for the lining fabric. We have just made 2 folds, that is both the raw edges we have got at the center. We'll do the same thing on the main fabric. So we're just going to get the raw edges to the center like this. That is all that we are going to do and we are going to pin this. Now since it is a dual fabric strap, we are going to hide the raw edges together in the in between both the fabrics. So for that we are not again folding it, we are just making a single fold. So again we'll be doing the same thing for the entire fabric. So we have done that for the entire fabric. Now this is the opening over here. Now for the lining fabric also we'll have to for the lining fabric we are going to place this open. This is the open side. This is the open side. We are going to place it down on the open side of the main fabric. So both the open ends will be sandwiched in between, and we are going to clip this. We'll do this for the entire strap. We need to make a stitch on both. So when we make a stitch, we'll be holding the lining fabric as well as the main fabric. So we have only got the raw edges to the center of both the fabrics, and we have sandwiched the raw edges right between, that is in between both the fabrics. So we'll be doing this for the entire strap. So here we have got the fold of both, and they both will be touching together. Try to align the lining fabric in the center. When we reach the end, we'll be leaving around 5 to 5.5 inches. We are not going to put the lining fabric on that. So around 5 to 5 inches, 5.5 inches we're going to leave. We're just going to fold the lining fabric like this and attach it to the main fabric. So 5.5 inches we are going to have only the main fabric strap. That is where we'll be inserting the adjuster. So now we are going to make a straight stitch. We'll have to make a straight stitch on both the sides. So lengthwise we are going to make a straight stitch, and we're going to make it on the lining fabric and the main fabric. Your fabric strap is ready. We can put it any way we want. I'll be putting the fabric on the upper part, that is the two fabric will be on the upper part. So first I'm going to insert it like this, make a fold, attach it, and we need to make a stitch on this. So as of now we're just going to clip this. Now here the lining fabric is facing up, so I want it that way. You can also put it the other way if you want. And we have inserted this from the upper part only. So we'll take the strap absolutely straight. We have to see that there are no bends in the strap, twists in the strap. We're just going to take it absolutely straight like this. So here we have the single fabric. Now we're going to take the strap adjuster and put it and insert the strap into this like this. So this is the top part, it is facing up. We're just going to insert it like this on both the sides. The strap has to be absolutely straight. Now once this is done, we are going to take the end, that is the raw end, and as we did for the other side we are going to insert it. So we are not going to fold it, we are just going to insert it into the oval ring like this and get it to the strap adjuster. So you have to see that there are no twists anywhere. It's absolutely straight. It will be like this. Now we are going to insert this raw end to the upper part of the strap adjuster, and we are going to get it from the lower part. So from here we are going to insert it. So this is how it will be looking. I will get it out from the other side. So from here we'll get it out. We'll push it out from this side, and we pull how much we want. So we need to stitch this also, this end also. We'll just take a little more fabric to the other side. Now once we get the desired amount of fabric, we are going to fold this double. So one fold, and we need to make another fold, but we have taken a lot of fabric on this side, so just going to pull it back. So one fold and two fold, we are going to attach it only to the single strap. So the one that we inserted initially will be loose. The one that we inserted the second time, we are going to attach the raw end only to that strap, and we are going to make a stitch over here also. So this is how it will be. Now the top strap is absolutely free. We will be attaching only the lower strap. So here we will be making a stitch as well as the other side. Completed the back, and this is how it will be looking. We have stitched the straps also. This is how the strap adjuster will be. So I've made two pockets, one on the outside and one on the inside. It's completely lined from inside. There are no raw edges also. This is how it will be looking. So please do try this. Thanks for watching.